This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
You see, usually this is where I do my opening rant, but we don't need to do that tonight because you see something? You see something? Y'all know what that means, right? We don't need no opening rant tonight. Let me get my nice little t-shirt. It's a nice little Buccaneers t-shirt. I got it for free. They were giving it away to the homeless. I scooped it up. Not that I'm homeless or anything. And let us welcome the Bucs fans right to the couch, along with the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers. You see, we even got a nice This Shit More Than a Game pillow for all the NFC South teams, because as bad as the Saints are, without that Tom Brady Make-A-Wish stimulus, all the other NFC South teams are always on the couch with us as well. We always find ways to win. See, ain't none of these trash-ass NFC South teams going to be in the Superdome in New Orleans. So we win. New Orleans wins. And don't get it twisted. The Rams' time is coming. They're going to join that couch soon enough. Enjoy their little victory right now. Their time on the couch is coming soon enough. Congratulations on that one extra game, Buccaneers fans. See, that's why we wanted the Falcons out. We wanted the misery of them having their hearts broken yet again, because we knew, Bucs, that y'all wasn't going to be shit without Tom Brady to save y'all ass. The couch is nice and warm for all the NFC South teams. Southern hospitality here in New Orleans. We welcome them all. But hey, at least Mike Evans got his 1,000 yards, right? At least Mike Evans got his Make-A-Wish ass 1,000 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the John Barnes Show, where this shit more than a stream.
This shit more than a game. We ain't playing on no field. We fans born kinda wild, fire in our hearts revealed. Yeah, we shout and we cheer, our passion loud and clear. Together we rise, this love no compromise. Holler at the screen, repping our dream team. From the sidelines we scream, living in this fan's dream. Yeah, we shout and we cheer, our passion loud and clear. Together we rise, this love no compromise.
This shit more than a game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this January 14th edition of the John Barnes Show. Now, I know that's not always the greatest date for a lot of people in the Saints Nation, given that this is as the NFL so happily reminded us all throughout the day, the 7-year anniversary of the Minnesota Miracle and the 13-year anniversary of Alex Smith to Vernon Davis. Seems like January 14th is just not a good day for Saints fans. However, do not fret. You see, I'm a wise man. I said, I ain't going to let January 14th go down as a day in infamy. No. Today is also the anniversary of something way more significant. And if you guys mind, usually I say leave this shit more than a game in the chat to start off the show. What I want y'all to do is something, if y'all can personally for me, because she was so generous to let me do this, leave We Love Clarissa in the chat. That's right, the real MVP of the John Barnes channel, Mrs. This Shit More Than the Game. Today is our anniversary, and how sweet of her to allow her to share me with you guys on our special night. She said, Jono, I know Tuesday nights are usually the nights you go live. Go do what you got to do. I got you all my life to celebrate you. I say, wow, now that's some true this shit more than the game energy. So if y'all can, just give Clarissa some love in the chat because she is showing why this shit more than an anniversary. All right, never mind a Minnesota Miracle. Never mind the 49ers and Saints 2011 divisional round game. The real anniversary is Mr. and Mrs. This Shit More Than the Game. And Clarissa Barnes is This Shit More Than the Game certified. We also want to celebrate today because, as y'all saw, the Bucs are on the couch. Those Tampa Bay Buccaneers, boy, they thought we forgot about them, right? They thought we forgot about them. So our focus is always going to be on Atlanta. Our hate watch is always going to be on Atlanta. We always want the Falcons to suffer over any team. But that doesn't mean that we forgot about the Buccaneers or that we were okay with the Buccaneers daring to threaten to come to the Superdome in February and play in a Super Bowl on our turf. Hell no. We ain't going to allow that. So Louisiana's own. He ain't even from Louisiana, but he went to LSU, so now he's Louisiana's own. Louisiana's own. Jaden Daniels put an end to that. And all the Buccaneers got for all that trash talk they fans been doing about winning 4 divisions in a row. The same thing they used to make fun of us about, like, oh, whoop-de-doo, y'all won 4 divisions in a row. Do you want a banner for that? Well, yeah, we kind of do want a banner for that. I mean, congratulations that Tom Brady gave y'all that Make-A-Wish ass Super Bowl ring. But y'all just get one extra more game than us. But let me tell you something, Bucs fans. That color sand in Cancun is the same color sand whether you come in January or whether you come in December. See, that same Cancun sand that we've been on for the past month, it's the same color that you guys are going to see when you land in Cancun. Welcome to the couch with us. That couch is getting mighty full, y'all. The couch is getting mighty full. I mean, we got the Falcons fans on the couch. We now made room for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans on the couch. Y'all see Ziggy talking about something. I tried telling y'all. And even old Evan is on that couch. You see, we all on the couch. Ain't nobody going to get the last laugh. And the Rams' time is coming. Like I said, don't worry. Don't fear. The Rams' time is coming. It was a win-win for us on Monday night. See, now we ain't got to worry about them annoying-ass Vikings fans who've had a hard-on for the Saints since 2009. The Rams' time is coming. That couch is getting mighty, mighty crowded. However, I still feel like there's room if we just squeeze in a little bit tighter next time for some blue and gold to join us on that couch. It was such a pleasure, and I see all of you guys in the chat showing love to my wife who is watching the show right now. It was such a pleasure to watch the Buccaneers get eliminated, courtesy of one Jaden Daniels. You see, something about me is y'all might have learned a long time ago. Jono Barnes can be pretty petty. See, last week when the Buccaneers beat the Saints, I was a little excited, and I thought that we were going to withhold Mike Evans for his 1,000-yard season. So I tweeted a little early about the Saints not only losing, which thus eliminated the Falcons, which was the main part of the tweet. Like, that's the most important thing. It would have been nice for Mike Evans to not get the 1,000-yard, but that was the main thing about the game last Sunday. We only just wanted the Falcons to be eliminated and us to get a better draft pick, which happened. But I included Mike Evans not getting his 1,000 yards, not thinking that the Saints were going to give him that Make-A-Wish ass play one series later. But hey, I stand by what I put. I kept the tweet up. And this Buccaneers fan page, I guess, on Instagram last week tagged me and sent all of their hundreds and hundreds of fans after me. As y'all see, they even put the clown emojis, calling me a clown for celebrating too early about Mike Evans. You see, I learned apparently that above all else, all Bucs fans want is Mike Evans to get 1,000 yards. They don't care about Super Bowls. All they care about is Mike Evans getting his 1,000 yards. I guess I understand. So I let them have their fun. I got plenty of DMs, some in good nature, some taking it a little too far, but I get what happens. I put myself out there. I understand that now as a public figure, I'm going to get some trolls and whatnot. And all of those comments, y'all see 156. Well, if y'all would like to go on, if y'all have an Instagram and go on Buccaneers post, you would see from that post that no longer does it have 156 comments, but it has over 200 comments. Because Jono Barnes, yet again, went on every single comment. And I simply asked for an update. I simply asked all those Bucs fans that were tagging me, clowning me, taking personal shots at me. I said, give me an update. Yeah, Mike Evans got his great 1,000 yards, but where are y'all now? Y'all are on the couch with the New Orleans Saints. And of course, all the Bucs fans were like, oh boy, you're such a clown. You come back on our post 1 week later. Get a life. Well, first of all, John Bones doesn't have a life. Second of all, y'all tagged me. Bucs fans, y'all tagged me. I didn't go on Bucs fans 7554's Instagram page and talk shit. I ain't go on at Buccaneers Mike 17 and tag him. Y'all tagged me. Don't knock on the Bears' door and then get mad when the bear claws back. I'm a petty individual. John Bones is a petty individual. As the Falcons fans learned last week, and now the Bucs fans know. Y'all want to put John Bones on Jump Street? John Bones is going to be the most annoying ass dude you ever met on Jump Street. I went back on every single comment, y'all, and I told Bucs fans, this shit more than a game, and this shit more than a couch. I don't play. I don't play. You want to troll Jono? I don't take rent under the bridge. I live under the bridge. You can't troll the troll. Remember that, Bucs fans. My spirit animal as well, Cam Jordan, even retweeted me and said, yeah, Jono, we're going to have some Little Caesars pizza for the Bucs fans while we're on the couch. So that's where me and Cam are like spirit animals. Me and Cam are like, the synergy between us is crazy. We live no matter what, no matter how shitty the Saints are, no matter how porous of a season Cam Jordan had, that ain't going to ever stop him from trolling the Bucs fans. And it gets the Bucs fans heated. And I love it. I love it. And one day me and Cam Jordan click on this that we're going to troll the Bucs fans. I don't give a damn if the Saints are 0-17. Cam Jordan doesn't give a damn if he has 0 sacks on the season. Cam Jordan would not care if the Bucs had 4 more Super Bowl rings than us. Me and Cam Jordan are going to troll the Bucs fans and give them their one shining night to have the Saints fans' attention. And as y'all see, Cam Jordan quoted me and said, hey, Bucs fans, and I don't understand, like we got a nice this shit more than the game pillow, courtesy of my mom for Bucs fans and you too, Falcons fans. Cam Jordan is offering pizza to the Bucs fans. I don't get the hostility. I don't get why Bucs fans are so angry at us. We're showing Southern hospitality. Why are they so angry at us? Geez, y'all wanted our attention. Here is your attention. We're delivering it to you guys. What's up? Why are y'all so hostile, Bucs fans? Is it because this shit is not more than a game to y'all? Is it? You're not going to Mr. This shit more than the game's door. Don't be surprised when Mr. This shit more than the game shows you why this shit more than the game. Hope you guys enjoy the couch with us, Bucs fans. Instead of having y'all 2024 NFC South Division Champions banner, maybe I could put a nice little Mike Evans had 1,000 yards again banner. Because we all know apparently that's all you guys care about. Now let's get to the main topic of the show. Now that it's the offseason, y'all, we're going to talk about a lot of variety of sports topics. We're going to keep, of course, talking about the Saints and now more so the Pelicans. But we're going to talk about a variety of sports throughout the 4 major leagues because there's some interesting things going on. And tonight we have a lot to talk about, especially after the thrilling. Well, I don't know if the word thrilling is appropriate, but the very storyline-driven NFC wildcard weekend that just completed. But those New Orleans Saints, bro, you got to love them. They find a way to stay relevant even when we're not really that relevant on the field because I'm sure you guys have saw the news and it caused a lot of chatter on these New Orleans streets. Mike McCarthy was fired by Jerry Jones. Well, I don't know if fired is the correct word. They just didn't decide to extend his contract or renew it going forward. So he is no longer the coach in Dallas, which means, of course, as Ian Rappaport reported, the Saints and Chicago Bears apparently have interest. Mike McCarthy has already actually approved of an interview with the Chicago Bears, and Ian Rappaport reported earlier this morning that the Saints are planning to interview Mike McCarthy next week.
Now, of course, again, caused a lot of chatter within the New Orleans Saints fan base because Mike McCarthy apparently is not a name that excites a lot of Saints fans, maybe. I don't know. I want to know you guys' opinion in the chat. All the social media audiences can be real different. Like maybe the YouTube audience is a lot more excited or welcoming of Mike McCarthy than my ex or Twitter. I can't believe I just called it X. My Twitter audience was. But as you can see, I asked on Twitter, I said, hey, Saints fans, would you be happy with Mike McCarthy as the Saints head coach? And as of 7 o'clock p.m. on January 14th, with over 1,480 votes, 62% said no, and 37.3% said yes. Now, that's a very small sample size. New Orleans is a big city. Lord knows John O'Bones' circle is not the be-all, end-all when it comes to the temperature of the Saints fans. But I mean, look, I'm not small potatoes by any stretch of the imagination. I have a very strong Saints contingent of fans. So it's not something, but it's not nothing as well. And 62%, really 63%, say that they would not be happy with Mike McCarthy as head coach. Former Saints offensive coordinator Mike McCarthy, by the way, if you know, you know. Throughout the whole Jim Haslett era, who was the guy leading the offense with Deuce McAllister and Aaron Brooks and Joe Horn and Michael Lewis and Dante Stallworth and Boo Williams and Willie and Jake Reed? If you know, you know. Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator, so he has history with the New Orleans Saints. Rick Mueller, who was our GM at the time, who is now currently a Saints executive, has history with Mike McCarthy. Mickey Loomis, everybody's favorite. Mickey Loomis, our current GM, has history with Mike McCarthy. So it damn near seems inevitable that Mike McCarthy is probably a strong favorite, if not the favorite, to be the coach of the New Orleans Saints. And I want to know what you guys think as we talk about the potential possibility. Is that redundant? Potential possibility of Mike McCarthy being our head coach. Misdemeanor Crimes, who I hope is feeling better from her bout with COVID. And Misdemeanor Crimes, if you can, dug it out. There was a very interesting voicemail for you that you just got to hear to believe. I can't believe. This is what happens when it's the offseason. That's all I got to say, Misdemeanor Crimes. She does not want any of Dallas's cast-offs. I'm trying to be very careful not to say DC because I don't want this troll of my brother joining the show tonight. My dog says Mike McCarthy has never done anything bad to us. He made that bum. I won't call Aaron Brooks a bum, but I'm quoting my dog says he made that bum Aaron Brooks into a halfway decent quarterback. And soon as he went to be the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, that was the year that Aaron Brooks fell off a cliff. Brute Saint, Super Chat legend, says it would be so Saints for us to get Mike McCarthy. Hiring him means continuing to be mid, just like the DA hire. Mike is slightly better, but ain't taking us to a Super Bowl. Hurricane Mike says he actually would be happy if we got Mike McCarthy. Now, it's funny because my dog says we like the last cast off from Dallas, which was Sean Payne, which has a good point. Let me tell y'all something. Now, imagine if by chance Sean Payton was coming back to the New Orleans Saints, right? I would say 90% of fans would be excited. 90% of fans would be excited about Sean Payton. Many of us believe that he's a future Hall of Famer. Many of us believe that right now he's a top 5 coach. Many of us believe that he's one of the greatest coaches, period, of all time. You know what's funny, though? When you put Mike McCarthy and Sean Payton's resume together, technically, Mike McCarthy has a better resume than Sean Payton, folks. Technically, Mike McCarthy is a better coach, if you go by the numbers, than Sean Payton. So how does Sean Payton have such goodwill, not only with the Saints fans, but across the league, and Mike McCarthy is seen as a mid coach? Mike McCarthy has made it to the NFC Championship games more times than Sean Payton. They both have the same number of Super Bowls. They both, you can argue, wasted having a Hall of Fame quarterback, Sean with Drew Brees, Mike McCarthy with Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy only has one extra season over Sean Payton, and Mike McCarthy has 4 more wins than Sean Payton. So I find it kind of funny that these very similar resumes, and yet we talk about Sean Payton as if he's a god amongst coaches, and we talk about Mike McCarthy as if, we're too good for Mike McCarthy. We don't need Mike McCarthy. It reminded me of a meme I saw going around where when Lizzo doesn't have a t-shirt on, feminists and all the women talk about how empowering she is. When Rick Ross doesn't have a t-shirt on, it's like, man, put on a shirt, you fat boy. And that's how it feels with Sean Payton and Mike McCarthy. Sean Payton's resume, empowering, Hall of Fame worthy, greatest coach of all time worthy. Mike McCarthy's resume, nah, we don't want Mike McCarthy in New Orleans. What you mean, Jono? Mike McCarthy? Man, go put on a shirt, Mike McCarthy. You got to admit, y'all, the hypocrisy is pretty funny. That's why I don't understand about fans sometimes. Like, two things about being a fan that I embrace. One, being hypocrites. We're all hypocrites about something. In life, to be honest, but especially when it comes to sports fanaticism, we're all hypocrites about something. And two, we're stupid. I embrace that. There's a lot of takes that I have sometimes that are stupid. Yes, I'm a fan. I'm not the president of the United States. I'm a fan. I could be stupid. But Payton and McCarthy, literally damn near the same resume. You can't make this up, as Ziggy would say if he was on the show. You cannot make this up. And yeah, we're talking about the possibility of Mike McCarthy as if it's like, oh man, doomsday scenario. We can't have Mike McCarthy in New Orleans. Now, I'm not saying how dare you not want Mike McCarthy, because I'll be honest, I wouldn't be excited if Mike McCarthy comes to the Saints. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be angry, but I'm not going to be excited either. I tend to also prefer a new voice, a new face, let some new coach come in and create his own legacy. Same way Sean Payton did in 2005. I don't want to retread just like we did with Dennis Allen in 2019. In 2022. I want a new voice as well. I want a Aaron Glenn or a Joe Brady to usher in their new era. Good or bad? We'll see. It's kind of like when you play that game show, right? And you can get the guaranteed prize. Here's a guaranteed prize of $1,000. Or do you want what's in the mystery box? And more often than not, everybody always say, $1,000 is good. It's a guaranteed $1,000, but that mystery box, I really, really want that mystery box because it could be $2,000 in that mystery box, right? The unknown is always more exciting, always more hopeful to fans than the guarantee. And Bruce Saint has said that Mike McCarthy is mid. Again, I feel like that's an insult to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy has a great record as a coach. The only thing Mike McCarthy doesn't have over Sean Payton is good PR, apparently. Like, Mike McCarthy has a very similar record to Mike Tomlin, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, to Sean Payton, at one point to Andy Reid before Andy Reid found the Patrick Mahomes treasure chest. Mike McCarthy is a good coach. So I'm not going to be mad if we get Mike McCarthy. I'm not going to be doing jumping jacks. I'm not going to be like, hell yeah, Super Bowl in the future. But I know that Mike McCarthy is a good coach. So I just kind of find it funny, the hypocrisy of Saints fans when it comes to how we talk about certain coaches, but then Mike McCarthy gets brought up and it's like, ugh, Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's a good coach, a Super Bowl winning coach. He had his team in the playoffs 2 years ago, Bruce Saint. He had a bad year this year. I can argue, hey, Dak went down, but he still had Cooper Rush looking like a good quarterback. I don't think he's mid now. I think he's a fine coach. Honestly, if mid is making the playoffs, that's an upgrade for the New Orleans Saints right now. We're going on 4 years of not making the playoffs. Mid is an upgrade for the New Orleans Saints. I'll take mid at this point. What we have been has been mid with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. I'm trying to go at least shit. Let's be decent. Decent could get us in the playoffs. Of course, we all want to be top of the line contenders, right? We all want to be playing for Super Bowls. I get it. I absolutely get it. It's going to bring me to my point a little bit about how Steelers fans are treating Mike Tomlin, because I really want y'all opinion on that. But shoot, making the playoffs every year, that's a good thing. I'll take it. I'll take making the playoffs because at least you got a shot. And you never know what can happen. And more often than not, you're probably going to lose to the better teams like the Josh Allen Bills or the Lamar Jackson Ravens or the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. Again, of course, you got to have an elite, great quarterback above all to actually really be that top of the line contender. But making the playoffs and being a contender in general and having a shot at the dance in January, that's not a bad spot to be. And I can argue that Mike McCarthy will get the Saints to that point. But here are the coaching candidates officially as of now. Aaron Glenn, of course, who was the presumed favorite. It seems like I've seen some reports saying that he might prefer coaching for the Jets. Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, who looked real good on Sunday with the Bills offense. Darren Rizzi, of course. Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, former Cardinals coach. Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. The lone shot apparently is Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. And now Mike McCarthy, former Dallas head coach. As of now, who would you guys prefer as your favorite, or who would you want as the next Saints head coach? Now, I'll be honest, we're all just fans. Like, we're not in these meeting rooms. We're not in these interview rooms. We all can for sure poke our chest out and say, this coach for sure is going to be the next great coach. We can only go by potential. I personally would prefer Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn will be the one I would get excited about the most. I can see me getting excited about Joe Brady, but I also feel like he has the lowest floor, which means that if he falls, it's going to be bad. But he also might have the highest ceiling. He might have the most potential, especially because it's an offensive league, and a lot of fans are saying we got to have an offensive guy this time. We cannot hire a defensive head coach again. I don't know so much about that. I mean, look at Baltimore. John Harbaugh is a defensive coach. Shit, just get a great quarterback, and who cares what the head coach does? Like, you'll worry about that later. So I'm not going to hold that against someone like Aaron Glenn or even Anthony Weaver, who's kind of impressed me the more I read up about Anthony Weaver this past few weeks. But I will say again, Aaron Glenn is my personal favorite because he's a good head coach. I mean, Detroit doesn't have like a dominant defense, but I've been impressed in general with how he's been able to have them play, especially in the midst of a lot of injuries this year. He seems to be a good leader of men. Again, we're not going to really find out until the person is a head coach. And I said this on Twitter last week, and of course, it opened up the floodgates. But I mean, I just think as a black man, that would be pretty cool to see a black guy finally be a head coach in a predominantly black city like New Orleans. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm not basing my whole criteria on, Aaron Glenn's black, so he needs to be our next head coach. I just think it would be pretty cool. Now, of course, some people took that the wrong way, unsurprisingly, on Twitter last week, but that's Twitter and social media for you. What can you do? So I think I would prefer Aaron Glenn. I can talk myself into Joe Brady, even though I feel like it's a risk. It's a risk, especially where we're as a franchise right now, having Joe Brady's young self as a head coach. It would be a risk. The ceiling could be amazing, but it would definitely be a risk. And Mike McCarthy, I would not be excited about, but I also would not be mad about, the way I know a lot of fans are going to get mad if it is Mike McCarthy, which, again, just surprises me because, I mean, I think it was a pretty clever meme. Like, say Sean Payton decides to quit the Broncos for whatever reason, say, I'm going back to New Orleans. Boy, we will all be having a parade on Canal Street right now. Whereas Mike McCarthy comes to the Saints, I feel like a lot of fans will be like, it'll be, I mean, I think my poll isn't exact science, but I think it'll be more about 60-40, with the 60% being the fans aren't excited. But I do think that some of that 60% would be able to be talked into Mike McCarthy by April. I mean, hell, y'all, we talked ourselves into Dennis Allen. Don't be afraid to admit it. You can look yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I talked myself into Dennis Allen. I know I did. So we damn sure it's going to be child's play to talk ourselves into Mike McCarthy, which absolutely can happen if he winds up being our coach. And my gut says, honestly, just because the way the tea leaves are going, especially if Aaron Glenn really does want to be the Jets head coach over all the other teams that he's interviewing for. You got Randy Mueller, you got Mickey Loomis. It just feels like it's almost preordained. Just like it was obvious that Dennis Allen was going to be our head coach, even though we did that interview process in 2022 where we all knew, like, yeah, Dennis Allen's probably going to be the coach. Kind of feels like Mike McCarthy is the favorite. Unless Chicago really falls in love with him and Mike McCarthy says, Derek Carr in the New Orleans Saints, Caleb Williams in Chicago. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I think the only name on this search that I have not really seen any excitement potentially in me whatsoever would be Mike Kafka. Even though I'm trying to be fair, I would just be like, wow, Mike Kafka, like, good Lord, is our situation that bad that we couldn't even get Anthony Weaver or Cliff Kingsbury? Good Lord, have mercy. It's going to be very interesting. But all I say is this, y'all. Give Mike McCarthy a shot. Give Mike McCarthy a shot, y'all, because he's at the same damn resume as Sean Payton. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hey, y'all. I know we got over 350 people watching right now across our platforms, likely mostly on Twitter. I do believe we have over 35 watching on YouTube. If y'all are watching on YouTube, can y'all please just do me a solid favor? It is free to do this, and it can make it even better as we have them on the couch with us.
Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Bucs fan sad. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, seriously, y'all, only 16 likes on YouTube. I know y'all could do better than that. It's easy. All you got to do is hit that thumbs up button. It's real easy. Just hit that thumbs up button, and bam, kapoosh, you helped out the John O'Barnes Show. Another way you can help out the John O'Barnes Show, besides the likes, is if you leave a super chat, which if we get 5 super chats tonight, it could be as cheap as $1. I'm going to let you guys in on a little privacy. I'll show you guys how me and my wife, I'll show y'all how me and my wife celebrated our anniversary. All y'all got to do is leave 5 super chats. It could be as low as $1. I'm not asking for a lot, but if you guys want to be a little this shit more than a game, if you're nasty, leave a super chat. And if we get over 5, or if we get over 30 likes, either or, get me over 30 likes or give me over 5 super chats, and I'll show you guys how I celebrated my anniversary with my lovely wife. All right. Now, because it's the off season, we're going to talk more besides just Saints. And I really want y'all opinion on this. I apologize if you're only Saints only, but we're going to definitely open up the audience a little bit now that it's the off season and talk about other sports as well, including one Zion Williamson, who last Friday was suspended by the New Orleans Pelicans for being late to a team flight. Now you might be like, "Oh, what is that a big deal? Why? He was late. Sometimes we're all late for meetings or flights or whatnot." Apparently, this was not the first time that Zion Williamson was late. And mind you, this is year 6, right? Like, Zion is supposed to be the king of New Orleans at this point. Drew Brees even anointed him. You're next up, kid. I'm about to retire. The city is yours. We are in year 6. Never mind the fact that Zion hasn't played any playoff game whatsoever. Never mind the fact that Zion, besides last year, only plays about 40% of the season altogether, no matter what. But in year 6, this kid is apparently still missing practices, still not showing up some nights on game nights when he's not dressing out, still being late to practice, still being late to team flights. David Griffin said in the press release when they suspended him last Friday, this one-game suspension is a result of failing to meet our team standards. His dedication to the organization is paramount success to us and to him. He has taken accountability for his actions and reaffirmed that commitment to the team today. I am confident that he will continue to evolve positively on and off the court. Mind you, y'all, this is year 6. This is not rookie year Zion. This is not sophomore year Zion. This is not even junior or senior year Zion. This is year 6 of Zion Williamson as a professional. Zion said in a statement, and mind you, I'm pretty sure this is a PR thing that he approved of, because as a person who works in PR, I know a PR statement when I see it. I take full responsibility for the suspension. I've worked extremely hard in rehab to get healthy to deliver for this team. There is no excuse for me being late to team activities. I have apologized to Mrs. Benson and my teammates and coaches, and I also owe an apology to the fans. I can and will be better as a member and teammate of this organization. So I want to know you guys' opinion. Do y'all think it is time? Well, you know what? I've asked that already. I'm going to ask y'all this. Do y'all think Zion is ever going to get it together while in New Orleans? Or do y'all think that this is a scenario where, yet again, Zion needs to go to a new city where he's going to thrive? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Zion can ever get it together in New Orleans? I've made my opinion known many times. Unfortunately, I don't have any of my co-hosts on tonight because I would have liked to have pushed back on them and see what their thoughts was, but y'all already know my opinion. I think that it's time to move on from this. I mean, this is year 6. This is year 6. Bro, we only got so many of these seasons in our lifetime, right? We've spent 6 years of the Zion era doing absolute shit. Let's just be honest. Doing absolute shit. Like, our highlight was winning 2 playoff games against the Phoenix Suns in the first round. Whoop the freaking do. And Zion didn't even play in those playoff games. Zion didn't even play in those playoff games. This man was supposed to be the king of New Orleans. Now, his injuries is one thing. I mean, unfortunately, he has a very unique body. if we're being honest, he doesn't take care of his body the way he probably should. So some of the injuries does fall on him, but a lot of the injuries is also bad luck sometimes. Like he's just a very unique sized individual, one of one, to be honest, that, future generations are going to be able to look at how Zion handled the NBA and do better with how they take care of their body. But Zion is just very uniquely proportioned. It is what it is, right? Some of the injuries you just can't help. Like he just has so much girth and he plays with so much force that, he's going to put some stress on his hamstrings sometimes and his groins and all that stuff. But there's also some times where Zion just comes out of shape. And that has nothing to do with his body. That just is him not putting the dedication that it takes to be a top-of-the-line player. So you could get by with talent. When Zion is on the court, he's a special talent. How special? I don't know, because we haven't seen him enough. Like, I damn sure can't put him like on a Giannis and LeBron in his prime, Steph in his prime, Jokic. I can't put him on that territory, but I can probably put him on the second tier. Like, when he's on the court, he's a special talent. But as a professional, he ain't cutting it. He's just not cutting it. You got to be driven, bro. You got to be driven to be great in this league. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, they all could have skated by off their pure raw talent, and they still would have been all-stars. They still would have been Hall of Fame caliber talents. But they are driven to be not only great, but elite. Zion's not driven to be elite. Let's call a spade a spade. Zion is not driven to be elite. Zion is just happy being in the NBA. He's got his millions and millions of dollars, like literally over $100 million that he's earned in his career. He's fine. He's going to put in work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's like the laziest guy. Like he puts in work, but he's not putting in that work that you really got to do to take it to the next level. The way Kobe was obsessed with being great. The way LeBron James puts over $1 million worth of investments in his body every year, which is why at 40 years old, he looks better shape and plays much harder and with more force than Zion Williamson. Zion don't want it like that, man. And maybe he's going to get there one day. Maybe I appreciate the team for finally calling him out on this bullshit. Took 6 years to do it, which is like, good Lord. It took y'all 6 years to finally call him out. I can see it. And again, if he was like, I get that the NBA is a superstar-driven league, right? So like when you are LeBron James, you could get away with some stuff that the 12th man on the bench can't get away with. What has Zion done to deserve like the grace that the team has given him? Zion's played in 0 playoff games. He's won 0 MVPs. What has Zion done to be given like this? Hey, Zion, we're going out the red carpet for you every time. You got to earn it if you're going to want some type of, favoritism like that. Drew Brees can show up late to a fight. It's Drew Brees. Come on, now what has Zion done to deserve it? I hope he gets it together. I love Zion. I want Zion to be great. I've seen, just like a lot of Pelicans fans, I've seen Zion on the court. When he is on one, damn, it looks like the best player in the NBA. He's teased us so many times, which is why I'm not afraid at this point to call him out on this bullshit too. I find it hilarious how hated Derek Carr is in New Orleans, but yet, good Lord have mercy, dude, Pelicans fans give Zion every goddamn excuse in the book. Like, good Lord, y'all, demand some accountability. This kid has over $100 million in contract money. He does not need all of y'all excuses along with that. Demand accountability. Do y'all want the Pelicans to be great or not? It's hilarious to me that the Saints and the Pelicans share a fan base, but the Pelicans fans are so damn accepting of the bare minimum sometimes with this franchise. Whereas, shit, let the Saints have a player show up late for a team flight and get suspended. Let that have been Derek Carr. It would have been World War III in New Orleans streets if Derek Carr showed up late for a flight. But for Zion, it's like, he's going to learn his lesson. No, man. Put some pressure on that kid. He's not even a kid anymore. He's year 6. Put some pressure on that grown-ass man. He's a professional. I'm tired of all the excuses for Zion. I'm tired of all these fans accepting the bare minimum from that franchise. Good Lord have mercy, we are 8 and like dirty. It is year 6 of the Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson and David Griffin era. We are 8 and 31. And you want to know about some of these fan bases' opinions and some of these fan bases the way they're like, hey, tonight we played hard. Good job, Pelicans. They're supposed to play hard every night. They're professionals. I feel like this fan base accepts the bare minimum sometimes with this goddamn team, starting with Zion, which is why Zion does the things that he does, because he knows that the fan base, and at one point, the team was letting him get away with it. I can show up late for a team fight. The fans love me. I'm Zion Williamson. I can show up late for a team practice. The team's going to let me get away with it. Thank God, finally. I don't know, was it David Griffin? I don't know, was it Swin Cash? I don't know if it was Garrett Wilson. They finally say enough is enough. We're drawing the line in the sand, Zion, and we're going to call your ass out publicly because they could have lied and said, Zion is out tonight for rest reasons or whatever. They say, no, we're going to call you out and tell you exactly why you out tonight. Your ass didn't show up for the team flight. About time. A little too late in my opinion, but about time. Hold that man accountable, man. And as a fan, you might be like, well, I'm just a fan, John. What can I do? I mean, y'all the same damn fans that get on Mickey Loomis every single day on Twitter. Y'all can get on Zion. I'm not saying y'all got to bully the kid. I'm not saying go Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp or they call him fat and all that. No, I'm saying demand him to be a professional. Because the Pelicans would be in such a better spot right now if Zion knew how to be a professional. We damn sure wouldn't be 8-31 or whatever the hell our record is. I mean, I got to watch the team right now, and I kind of get annoyed when we start winning games. Because now I'm like, shit, we ain't making the playoffs. I want a good draft pick again. That's the same spot I hated being as a Saints fan. You're in that level of mediocrity. You're not good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not bad enough to get a top draft pick. Zion is probably going to come in and win us enough games that now we're going to be a top 8, top 9, bottom 9, team where we're not even getting a top 4 draft pick. And this is a good draft this year. So now I'm all in on the draft. I'm like, shit, give me Cooper Flagg. Give me Bailey. Give me one of them kids. Like, I'm ready to start over again with a new hyped up rookie. I know that usually doesn't work out for the Pelicans, but shit, sue me. So I just want the fans to do some accountability with Zion, man. Like, y'all, I just don't get, and I know that the Saints fans are much more passionate and ingrained and much more, there's a lot more Saints fans than Pelicans fans. I get it. And I know that it feels like sometimes we treat and mind y'all, I'm a 13-year Pelicans employee, okay? I have a history with that team. So this is me speaking out of love. I don't mind being a tough love guy. But it seems like we treat the Pelicans like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound mean, but like, you know, the kid who's slow. So you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna treat this kid a little bit more grace, right? You know, he's a little slow, so I gotta be a little more gentle with this kid. Man, it is year 6 right now of this Zion Williamson era, and this kid, this grown man. I'm gonna stop calling him kid. He's a grown man. It's year 6. This grown man is showing up late for practices and team flights. Demand better, Pelicans fans. I'm glad that the team is finally demanding better. Demand better. If his ass doesn't want to get in together, ship his ass out. It ain't like we're missing out on anything, right? Shit, all the shit that y'all gave Anthony Davis when he asked for a trade. Anthony Davis' era was 10 times better than what the Zion Williamson era's been. Anthony Davis got us to the playoffs. Anthony Davis played. Yeah, he went out a lot of times, but he actually played. He played more games than Zion. The hypocrisy, man. And again, I know fans act like it's sacrilegious to call out hypocrisy. I embrace it. I embrace being a hypocrite. I embrace being stupid when it comes to being a sports fan. The hypocrisy and I don't want to say stupidity because I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I just think y'all need to do better with how y'all treat Zion. It's okay to call him to hold him accountable. I know he's excited. I know he might do a windmill tonight, and it's like you forget every reason about why you annoyed with Zion because he's just such a special player when he's on the court. Well, tell him to be on the court. Tell him to be a professional. Tell him to show up to practice. Tell him to be a goddamn leader. You are the highest paid player on our team. You are supposed to be the face of our franchise. Play like it. Act like it. Conduct yourself like it. I want y'all, Pelicans fans, to show that this shit more than a game. Just show Zion why this shit more than a game. Because if y'all do not let him, or if y'all keep accepting him not showing why this shit more than a game, guess what? He ain't gonna never have any motivation to show why this shit more than a game. That's all. It's tough love. I'm cheering for Zion. In the perfect world, it works out. He turns his career around. It works out in New Orleans. He leads us to multiple playoff appearances. He's shown me nothing. And it ain't gonna be no 5 or 6 game stretch where he's averaging 30 points for me to be like, oh, he's back. I got to see it consistently. I got to see it multiple years, to be honest, if he is going to stay in New Orleans. He's got to prove it to me. I'm not accepting the bare minimum anymore. And I would ask that you guys not accept the bare minimum as well. I see you guys in the chat, man. I wish I could keep up with y'all, but it's very hard for me to host this show and keep up with the comments when I'm a one-man show tonight, but I see what you guys are saying, and I definitely am going to go back after the show and read these comments. Like, I see, of course, Ziggy's being all positive, but that's typical Ziggy for you guys. But I appreciate you guys letting y'all opinion on. Now, Devin, I don't know if Zion does or doesn't want to be in New Orleans. I wouldn't be shocked if, like, it's not his first choice, which I mean, that's the life of the NBA players. Like, they all want to play for the big markets. I get all that, but I'm not going to say he doesn't want to be in New Orleans. I just want him to be a professional. Like, I want him to be a leader in New Orleans. Hurricane Mike says, I think Zion will get it together because he did it last year. If he truly cares, he can. See, that's the thing. To me, that's accepting the bare minimum. Well, he did it last year. I mean, what was last year that he actually got it together? Like, we still didn't make the playoffs, and we made the play-in. And, well, he did make the playoffs, but he didn't make the playoffs. Like, he didn't play like, what is it? What does Zion getting it together look like to y'all? Is it the bare minimum? Oh, he's playing in 75% of his games. He's not playing great in 75% of his games, but it's like the kid makes a lot of money, y'all. Y'all can demand greatness. The way y'all demand greatness from Derek Carr, the way y'all bring up Derek Carr's contract every single week, I don't know why y'all don't want to do that with Zion. It's the same type of thing, right? Like, hey, you're making all this money. Play like it. Derek Carr ain't never missed no practices, though. I know that. Derek Carr ain't never missed no team flights. We got a super chat. Hold on. Let me get the bootleg version of the This Shit More Than the Game air horns from, of course, everybody's favorite. The bootleg This Shit More Than the Game air horns. He says he wants Mike McCarthy to be our head coach. You see, I wish Ziggy was on the show tonight. Like, I have not asked Ziggy at all. So this is surprising to me that Ziggy wants Mike McCarthy. I have not talked to Ziggy much this past week about the head coaching search update, so I didn't know his opinion. So maybe, hopefully, next week we can have a more thorough discussion with some of the co-hosts about who they feel is the best candidate for the Saints job. But it seems like Ziggy is like, hey, Mike McCarthy has a good resume. Why would I not want Mike McCarthy? Why would I not want a guy who consistently has his team in the playoffs? Ain't that what we're supposed to be playing for? As Ziggy would probably be saying right now. Don't y'all want to make the playoffs? Don't you play to win the game? We'll see. We will see. Now, before we get to our next topic, speaking of super chats, I want to give a This Shit More Than a Thanks right now to everybody who left a super chat last year. So to the lovely Miss Barbara, and we got a very interesting voicemail this week, Miss Barbara, if you're still watching the show that you do not want to miss. To Red Swarm and Pro P, who would have thought that we would be giving thanks to Falcons fans? But I give thanks to the Falcons for being our rival, because good Lord have mercy, are they a trash-ass franchise. To my guy, JB, great name, and Jonathan, too. And to the lovely Sandra, please know this shit more than a thanks. Remember that every super chat we get, we invest right back into the show. And if we get 4 more super chats tonight, and it could be as small as a $2 one, Ziggy said, I will show what me and my wife did today on our anniversary. I also say I'll do it if we get to 30 likes. So I believe we're 4 likes away. So if y'all just, y'all want to save y'all money for the next episode or whatever, that's fine. But hit the like button as well. You got to earn your keep somewhere on the John O'Brien show. I mean, come on now. This shit more than the game ain't free. All right, next topic. All right, I'm for real now, y'all. I'm following the chat on this one a lot more, okay? So I'm going to definitely put up some of y'all comments since I have no co-host on the show tonight. Mike Tomlin, a lot of fans. Boy, it seems like for some teams, all the goodwill from September to December goes out the window if you lose your first game of the playoffs, including from the Steelers fans and a lot of analysts and pundits, because the Steelers, with Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season, by the way, y'all. Mike Tomlin has had 0 losing seasons ever, and he consistently has the Steelers in the playoffs. You would think that would be good enough, right? Like, he has a Super Bowl. They're in the playoffs. They're in the hunt every year. They're more than in the hunt. They're in the dance. They are actually in the playoffs. Oh, Steelers fans were not having it, as well as some media pundits, because Jeff Schwartz, he annoys me because he was hating on Taysom Hill for the longest. So I'm not surprised that he has another stupid opinion that I don't agree with. But he said, I've said for a while, I think the Steelers are in the worst spot in sports. Wow. The worst spot. Okay. They're good enough to make the playoffs, but they are not ever good enough to win. So you just stay status quo every year because it quote unquote works. They're not bad enough to draft a stud QB. They're not good enough to win with a veteran cast off. Okay. Y'all want to do some research for me? What was the Kansas City Chiefs record the year they drafted Patrick Mahomes? Matter of fact, answer this question. It's a yes or no question. Were the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs the year that they drafted Patrick Mahomes? Spoiler alert. Yes, they were. They didn't need to bottom out and be a bottom 5 team to draft a stud quarterback. Oh, who's going to be the MVP for the 3rd straight year? Third time in his young career. Lamar Jackson. Do y'all know where the Baltimore Ravens got Lamar Jackson? Pick 32. 31 teams passed on Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore Ravens, who are a consistent team, always of greatness and making the playoffs, they never needed to be a bottom 5 team to make the playoffs. Jalen Hurts, another MVP quarterback. The Eagles got him in round 2, not round 1. The Eagles got him in round 2. Do y'all ever remember a year in the past 10 years where the Eagles were a bottom 5, bottom 10 team? No. So why are the Steelers in the worst spot? Are you kidding me? Making the playoffs now is the worst spot to be in as a team? What are we doing? What did we lose the plot along the way? I'll tell you what being in the worst spot is being the Saints in 2022, 2023, where you're not good enough to make the playoffs and you don't get a draft pick. That's the worst spot. At least the Steelers make the playoffs. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we hating on Mike Tomlin for making the playoffs? Mike Tomlin doesn't need to make the Steelers play like absolute dog shit to secure a top 3 pick to get a quarterback. I can name a lot of quarterbacks that went top 5 that ain't shit. Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold. Did y'all watch Sam Darnold on Monday? So the media has corrupted so many fans, in my opinion, with this ideology that you got to be a shitty team and you got to, the only method is blowing it all up. That's the only way you could ever get back to being the contender again. You got to blow it up. We're literally the 2 biggest contenders in the AFC right now, with all respect to the Buffalo Bills, are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Neither of those teams ever blew it up. And here they are, likely going to be the top 2 teams in the AFC Championship game, though I do think the Bills are going to have something to say about that. The Eagles, one of the best teams in the NFC for the past 5 years. At any point, did y'all remember them blowing it up? No. Good teams know how to find good players. How about you have a good front office? How about you have a good scouting team? That's how you find a good quarterback. You ain't got to be like, oh, shit, we just got to tank. I hate that ideology, man. I hate the disrespect that I saw from Steelers fans and some media analysts this past Saturday when Mike Tomlin lost a playoff game. Okay, yes, they are in a bad spot where they're not necessarily ever a legit threat in the near future, you would think, to be a Super Bowl contender. But shit, all they got to do is find a top-notch quarterback. Easier said than done, as Saints fans know. And they'll be right back in it. They're not in the worst spot. Maybe Jeff Schwartz was being hyperbolic. I don't know. That was just a stupid-ass tweet to me. Ain't no way the Steelers are in the worst spot in sports. If you are making the playoffs year after year, you are not in the worst spot, folks. You could be frustrated. You could be annoyed, like, damn, man, what are we going to take to get on the Chiefs level? What is it going to take for us to get on the Ravens level? Well, Pittsburgh, maybe y'all should have drafted Lamar Jackson. He was right there. 31 other teams passed on him. I sure wish the Saints would have drafted him. Maybe y'all should have drafted Jalen Hurts. Good quarterbacks are out there to be had. Russell Wilson went in the 5th round. Good at Russell Wilson, not the Steelers Russell Wilson. Good quarterbacks are there to be found. You ain't got to blow it up. You ain't got to be like, oh, we got to tell our Tim down to the shreds to get a top pick. I mean, if there's like no hope whatsoever, like how Saints fans knew by November, yeah, we ain't making the playoffs. That's when I don't mind. Yeah, okay, cheer for losses. Do what you got to do. Like the Pelicans right now. Like, we're not going to the playoffs. We're not. We're too far behind. So, yeah, I don't mind Pelicans fans saying, you know what? Screw that. I want us to lose games because I want to have the best shot at Cooper Flag. I get that. But if you're making the playoffs every year and you're still complaining, man, miss me with that. Miss me with that. Tell your scouting team to do better. Find a good quarterback. And if you fail like the Steelers did with Kenny Pickett, you keep going after one until you find one. You keep playing the lottery. Like the Chiefs did. The Chiefs never blew it up. They just said, we're going to keep going until we find a quarterback. Lo and behold, they found Patrick Mahomes. 1 pick before us, too, which sucks. They found Patrick Mahomes. The Ravens say, okay, there's a Heisman quarterback here that all of you guys are skipping on. Shit, we'll take him. Now look at the Ravens. A lot of people think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl in New Orleans again this year. Tell your scouting team to do better. Don't get mad at Mike Tomlin for having this team in the playoffs every year. So what do you guys think? Are the Steelers in the worst spot? Do you think that the Steelers should part ways with Mike Tomlin? I'll tell you what, if they do, I would want that man on the front row plane ticket to New Orleans. That's for damn sure. Let me get to some of y'all comments right now. Montauk says the Steelers are a spoiled ass fan base. Yeah, you know, and again, I haven't been in the Steelers position, so maybe their standards are higher than what they're like, oh, making the playoffs every year isn't good enough. You Saints fans, you guys are so pathetic. Y'all, that's why y'all below us now. We're the Steelers. We're supposed to be playing for Super Bowls, not playoffs. Whatever. Devin, that dude said Marty Schottenheimer got fired from the Chargers after taking his team to the playoffs and AFC title game for a while. Yeah. That's crazy to me that, you know, sometimes it's unique situations. I understand because you're like, okay, has this coach got us as far as he can? I think what Jeff Schwartz tweet, what annoyed me was he say they are in the worst spot. And it's like, really? Like the Jaguars had the number one pick. They did what all the media always says. Oh, you gotta suck. The Jaguars did that. They sucked. They got Trevor Lawrence. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a top 3 pick this year. How does that work out for them? It's not a guarantee that you being the worst team and tanking and getting the top quarterback is going to turn your team around. On the contrary, establishing a losing ass culture could probably set your team back worse than even getting a top quarterback, because now you just have a foundation of being shit. Like, oh yeah, we don't mind losing. What the Jacksonville Jaguars? Look at the New York Jets. They've been in the top 10 for the past decade, it feels like. How's that worked out for them? So calling the Steelers in the worst spot, that's where I have more beef with. I can see like Steelers fans who have an argument about, yeah, General, but it's been about 20 years. We just want a new face. I understand it. Like that argument, I am willing to listen to. I wanted to listen to the argument that we just feel like we need a new voice in the locker room. But for Jeff Schwartz to say, oh, the Steelers are in the worst spot, and maybe he was doing it for the engagement. Maybe he's a clickbait artist. I don't know. I saw he had some stupid tasting tweets back in 2021, so it wouldn't surprise me. I was like, really, my guy? The Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're in the worst spot. Not the New York Jets, who are in the top 5 every year. Not the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are in the top 5 every year. The Steelers are in the worst spot. Man, shut up with that. Shut up with that. Bruce Saint also says that the Steelers fan base is spoiled. My dog says that shit. Steelers, if y'all don't want Mike Tomlin, we'll take him. I'm the same way. yeah, please do not want Mike Tomlin. We'll take him in New Orleans. But still, my dog, by the way, how do you feel about Mike McCarthy? Because again, Mike McCarthy has a very similar resume to Mike Tomlin. So I'm really trying to see like where's this disconnect with Mike Tomlin and Sean Payne, all these great coaches saying Mike McCarthy is like, oh, we don't want Mike McCarthy. Let me know. Trav504 leaves a $1 super chat, and because of that, Trav, you get the This Shit More Than the Game air horns, the cheap version. Trav doesn't even say that. He just wants to see how me and my wife celebrated our anniversary. And my girl, Cheryl, one of my day ones, someone who I appreciate with all my heart, she leaves a $2 super chat. And I guess she also wants to see what me and Clarissa did for our anniversary. She probably wants to see if Shady was involved in that. To Cheryl, to Trav, and to you, Ziggy. I know you couldn't be on the show tonight, but I always appreciate you in the chat. You guys are This Shit More Than the Game certified. Giovanni says, I wouldn't want Mike Tomlin due to his inability to develop a quarterback and have an elite offense. Giovanni, to that, I say you can find ways. Look, again, nobody ever says that John Harbaugh is a great quarterback developer. You just got to find ways to be a little creative. Camera's getting a little blurry, y'all. I think I'm yelling too much into it. Pro P. Well, he's a stupid Falcons comment. We ain't worrying about that. Ziggy makes a good comment. He says, look at the Falcons culture right now. That's a good comment, Ziggy. That is absolutely a good comment. Hold on. There we go. I have to fix my camera for y'all. You don't want to ever establish a losing culture, because that can set your franchise way more back than the possibility of hitting on one of your top draft picks. Again, look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everybody thought they did it the perfect way. Oh, they got the number one pick. They got Trevor Lawrence. They did it right. They tore their team down to shreds, and now they got all this cap space, and they got Trevor Lawrence. Oh, they're going to be a threat in the AFC for years to come. The Jacksonville Jaguars have picked in the top 5 for the past 2 out of 3 years. But I guess the Steelers are in the worse spot than them, right? Give me a break. All right. And finally, my dog says, to answer my question, I'm enjoying, by the way, I see a lot of Falcons fans are starting to show their face. Hey, y'all could come in, Falcons fans, again. Falcons fans, the couch is nice and warm, and we got some more company, so it's a little warmer now, too. We got the Bucs fans to join us. So, hey, Falcons fans, it's a party on the couch here on the John Barnes Show. Like your boy Waka Flocka say, right? Atlanta's own. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. My dog says that he is with McCarthy if we cannot get Glenn or Ben Johnson. Well, we damn sure ain't getting Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson didn't even do an interview with us. Ben Johnson told the Saints, y'all ain't even got to worry about extending an invite. Which, that could be a whole topic in itself. Like, how bad have the Saints fallen off that the top head coaching candidate, bar none, is Ben Johnson, and he ain't even want anything to do with the New Orleans Saints. I feel like that's an indictment on where the Saints stand as a franchise right now, but I don't want to pick on the Saints too much. And finally, before we go to our next topic, Mr. Filmer says, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I would rather take Mike McCarthy over John Gruden. I think that's not a hot take at all. I think almost every fan would agree with you because I don't think, I mean, that might be 2%, maybe 2.83% of fans who would actually be excited to take John Gruden. So I don't know if that's much of a hot take, Mr. Filmer, but I appreciate you watching on Twitch. I think you're like the only one that watches my show on Twitch. So thank you, Mr. Filmer. We appreciate that. You know what else I appreciate? To everybody who has purchased a This Shit More Than a City t-shirt, I am proud to announce that we have raised over $600 in this campaign, and that cannot be possible. Well, everybody who has purchased a This Shit More Than a City t-shirt, where all profits from sales is going to go to the Greater New Orleans Foundation's New Year's Day Tragedy Fund. I'll probably have the shirts available for sale for another 2 weeks before I drop the Mardi Gras This Shit More Than a Game shirt. So if you want to have an awesome shirt and donate to a good cause, go to www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and let the world know when it comes to New Orleans, this shit more than a city. $600 that we raised, y'all, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I am so grateful what little platform we have, what we're able to do when we put the power to the community. So thank you guys so very, very much. All right, here's another topic I wanted to get to. Unfortunately, again, y'all, I was hoping to have at least one co-host because I was going to kind of go back and forth with them on this one to see like what different opinions we had. But I traveled to a lot of NFL games, and there was one city. My goal was to one day travel to all 32 NFL teams' stadiums. But there was one stadium in one city that my wife refuses. She says, no matter what, I am not going to that stadium. And that is Philadelphia, because we all know Philadelphia Eagles fans have a reputation of being the worst fan base, the most hostile fan base, the most ignorant fan base, the most meanest fan base. Well, they didn't help that reputation this past Sunday when this Packers fan posted this video of his experience in Lincoln Financial Field.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line. They got one more yard though. They're close. Yeah, but they're not in. It's not a touchdown. Yeah. So you don't jerk off. Come in the air. Okay, well, don't call her a dumb cunt. She's an ugly dumb cunt. Cool. After the third quarter. Yup. Got it.
Now, there was a lot of thoughts that went in my head when I saw that video. Of course, this went viral, more than viral. It's made national news. Of course, be careful what you wish for. Like, this is 2025. Eagles fan. They found out who that Eagles fan was. He has since been fired from his job, and the Philadelphia Eagles have actually banned him from ever going back to an Eagles game again. Wow. Good on the Eagles for that. And good on his job for that. But I mean, you would think, right? That, seems like a simple cut and dry case. Like, screw the Eagles fan, sympathy to the Packers fan. That Packers fan, by the way, being Alexander Basara, who is a Packers fan content creator, by the way, which gives me a little bit even more sympathy as a fellow NFL content creator myself. So he's the one who posted it. As you can see, 17,000 comments. Good Lord have mercy. I thought I'd be going viral before. 17,000 comments, 16,000 retweets, 27 million views. Good Lord have mercy. Good Lord have mercy. There was a lot of questions that went through my mind when I saw that video. First thing is like, okay, what would you do in that situation, right? Like, everybody always watches a situation, and everybody always with so much pride. Oh, I would have never accepted that. Yeah, he would have to meet these hands or whatever, right? Everybody always has their instant reaction to what they would do when they're in a situation like that. It's always easy to say when you're watching somebody else go through it, like, oh, I would have did this, I would have did that. Another question I had was, well, should that Packers fan have known better? Like, again, we all know the reputation that Eagles fans have. So should And it sounds like victim blaming, right? But there's a lot of people who actually were blaming the Packers fan and saying, "Oh, dude, you know what you were doing. You had your body cam on because you probably wanted a reaction like that. You're in Philadelphia. You're wearing Packers gear. You know that the Eagles fans are assholes. You're the problem, not the Eagles fan." And some even said that the Packers fan was scamming, like it was intentional, because that's Packers fan who is a content creator. Again, he actually had a GoFundMe the week before asking his audience to help him out, to donate to him so that he could go travel to the game to watch the Packers and Eagles. I mean, to me, that's a whole nother different topic. I'll tell y'all one thing, as a fellow content creator, I will never do a GoFundMe to you guys to go travel to a game. I'll take y'all super chats, don't get me wrong, but I'm never gonna, I mean, I feel like there's so many other better ways to utilize GoFundMe than to say, hey, help me go to Atlanta so I can watch the Saints and Falcons. I mean, I understand that in return, you're giving them cool content that a lot of fans love, but just for me, I'm not trying to knock him for doing it. I'm just not the type that's going to go and do a GoFundMe to go to a game. But of course, this Eagles fan said, this vulgar Eagles fan is clearly a piece of shit, but the Packers fiance who filmed the incident has a lot going on. How much did he instigate this? Look at his attitude going into the link. He was wearing a body cam to video stuff for content. I mean, I don't think that's a sin. I've not worn body cams, but I've worn cameras to many of my away games. I mean, some of my most popular videos are me going to Dallas and me going to Atlanta and capturing my experiences as an opposing fan against one of our rival teams. He also has had multiple GoFundMes to pay for his travel to Packers games, etc. Now, again, like I said, I wouldn't do a GoFundMe to ask you guys to pay me to go to Atlanta or Dallas or Philadelphia or whatever. But I mean, different strokes for different folks. We need more info, but it feels like we've been manipulated by this dude. Do y'all agree with that? I don't. I personally don't. I don't agree with the GoFundMe part, but I don't think he was manipulating anybody. But the main thing that some of the Eagles fans and some of the, I guess, the devil's advocate people are saying is that in his GoFundMe, he acknowledged, and this is before this all happened. So in his GoFundMe leading up to the game, when he was asking people for donations to go to the game, he said, "I've been cursed at, I've had stuff thrown at me, and even my first ever cheese head ripped off my head and thrown into a fire bin while supporting my team in Philly. But I'm sure as hell not scared to do it again." So again, he's basically acknowledging that he knew he was going into the devil's den. And so a lot of fans are saying, well, brother, you knew you were going to the devil's den. Why are you mad when the devil shows up? I'm not the one to victim blame. Not in this scenario. Like, to me, it's an open and clear case. The Eagles fan was an asshole. He got what he fucking deserved, to be honest. The Eagles fan, with him getting doxxed. You want to play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So how some of these fans, and that's just life, right? Like, you're always going to have a but, even in the scenarios that you feel like are so obvious. Now, to the fans who are like, shame on him for allowing his wife to be in that position. I mean, I try when I watch that video to picture me in that scenario, because I brought my wife to a lot of away games, and I've been very, very grateful and very, very lucky, I guess, even. Shame that you got to use the word lucky, but that we've never ran into any asshole. We did have some asshole fans in Dallas in 2018, but it wasn't like crazy. It was just like them talking mad shit. Nobody got a little too personal with it, so I can accept, maybe them saying screw you or whatever. But that was the worst of what we ever got going on away games. And to be fair, the Dallas fans this past year were amazing. So sometimes it's just, you could have 75,000 great fans, and it only takes one asshole fan to ruin the experience. But I picture myself, okay, if that was my wife, how I would react. I'll be honest, it probably would have been a fight, and I have a commandment when I go to away games, even Saints games. I am never going to fight about my team. Like, these multi-million-dollar athletes, you don't give a damn about Jono. They ain't paying my jail money or my bail bond if I get arrested for fighting an opposing fan or even a Saints fan. Like, so I'm not going to get into a fight over a goddamn sports game. But I just know how I've been in the past with some road rage incidents and whatever, or whenever I feel somebody coming at my wife on hell. Y'all saw, I guess, the Vikings Karen that came at me last year. And I don't know. I have a sense sometimes of way too much pride, I guess, and my emotion overtakes any logic that I would have. So in that scenario, it probably would not have been as calm as that Packers fan was in the moment. But I'm not going to knock the Packers fan for staying calm. Like, one, say he would have gotten into a fight with that Eagles fan. Let's put up the video again. Here's a thing that's very underrated. Everybody wants to talk tough on Twitter about, oh man, that never would have happened with me. It would have been a fight. Well, one, if you look at it, hold on. As you can see, the Packers fans are below the Eagles fan. So if you are getting into a fight right now, the Eagles fan has the clear advantage. One, the Eagles fan is with his fellow fans. So I'm pretty sure the Eagles fans would have jumped the Packers fan. Two, you're at a disadvantage because you are fighting upwards. Let me tell you, when you're fighting upwards, you're at a disadvantage. The Eagles fan, all you got to do is punch down. So fighting in that moment probably isn't the best idea because you're either going to get jumped or you just had a clear disadvantage with the angle of where you're sitting down at. But everybody always wants to talk tough on Twitter about, oh man, it would have been a fight. I would have knocked his ass out. You're at a disadvantage already. And you're outnumbered. But again, I'm going to be fair. And I'm not trying to sound tough, bravado myself. I am 160 pounds soaking wet. I'm not a fighter. I try not to cause any fights. I'm not winning many fights. Well, maybe I could win many fights because I'm damn sure going to cheat. Like, shit, if I'm 160 pounds fighting, I'm going to find whatever foreign object I can. This is a fight. This ain't a ballet dance. I'm taking you down some way, somehow. But my bravado probably could get the best of me if I ever had somebody step into my wife like that. And, again, your logic goes out the window. Your male pride takes over. But I'm not going to knock the Packers fan like some of the fans are doing on Twitter because he didn't instigate a fight or anything. Maybe I would have switched seats and be like, hey, all right, talk shit to me. Like, if you're going to talk shit, we're going to do it man to man. But you ain't going to talk to my wife like that. I'm trying to put her as far away from the situation as possible. But everybody always has what I would have did in that scenario until they're actually in that scenario. I'm not mad at the Packers fan for not fighting. Again, he would have been at a disadvantage. He probably would have got jumped because the Eagles fans' friends would have probably been like, oh, we ain't gonna let you fight our friend. We're gonna get some licks in as well. I damn near applaud him, to be honest. Like, he said, you know what? People saying, oh, you a punk for not handling it right to them there and going to the internet and crying about it. Well, let's see. He went to the internet and he cried about it. But now that Eagles fan doesn't have a job anymore. Now that Eagles fan is banned from going to Eagles games for the rest of his life. So who won? Really, who won? I mean, yeah, it probably would have felt real good for that Packers fan to get a nice little punch on that guy's chin. He damn sure deserved it. But who really won? So the sacrifice of, oh, I got some strangers calling me a punk because I didn't fight in my wife's honor, is that I got the last laugh still because I didn't go to jail. I ain't got to worry about any bail money. I ain't get handcuffed by the cops. I didn't get jumped. I kept my dignity. I kept my job. The Eagles fan has no job now. I still got my job. Shit, if you want to get it from a content creation standpoint, because everybody's saying, oh, he's just a wannabe influencer and he knew what he was doing. Well, shit, I think he's got like 5,000 new followers since then. So shit, he took the win. Let me get 5,000 new followers. I'll be excited as hell. Shit. I don't know. I don't think it was intentional. I do think, yeah, maybe you should know better. But at the same time, like, we shouldn't just because we know something is wrong, accept it. Like, tell the Eagles fans to do better. And I would say, again, like, most Eagles fans probably are cool. It takes one fan out of 75,000 to disgrace a whole fan base, right? Like, trust me, there's asshole Saints fans. I've seen asshole Saints fans treat opposing fans with disrespect during my 25-plus year tenure as a season ticket holder. I've seen it with my own eyes. Every fan base has the drunk, idiot assholes who don't know how to separate rivalry from reality. I get it. But I'm not going to harp on this Packers fan for not fighting or for going to the internet about it. He got a win to me. Good for that Packers fan. And I wish him the best in his content creation career. He knows a little bit better now, I guess, to not maybe bring his wife, or maybe, you come with more people. Like, if I ever go to Philadelphia, I'll probably go deep. Like, I'll probably go like I did in Dallas with a contingent of family members with me, because people have a lot more bravado and a lot more willing to talk shit to you when they know it's just you and your wife than when they know that you got 4 or 5 people with you. So if I go to Philly, it'll probably be me, John O'Bones, going deep. But We'll see. I think I'm gonna go to Philadelphia one day. Not anytime soon or anything, but I'm not afraid to go to Philly. I'm not going to let asshole idiot fans ruin my life experiences. I shouldn't have to sacrifice how I want to navigate life because some idiot fan wants to get all bothered about a goddamn football game. I understand that this shit more than a game, but I guess this shit was more than a job too. All right, let me get to some of these comments. Again, y'all, I am sorry. I wish we had I wish I had Ziggy on the show, to be honest, because Ziggy is always great with keeping up with the comments for me while I ramble. Just to see what you guys say. Mott says Falcons fans are forwards. I'm a fair man. I've been to Atlanta twice. The fans have always been awesome. Again, I always appreciate fans who can separate rivalry from reality. I have fun during games too away. I talk shit, not like crazy. I don't go personal or anything, but I'm like, what y'all got to say now? Whatever. I can separate rivalry from reality. I can have fun with the on-the-field product and dap off a fan after the game and say, hey, man, all love, just having fun with the moment, et cetera, et cetera. I have not encountered one bad Falcons fan. I've seen Falcons fans fight Saints fans literally in person. I don't know how all those type of things escalate, but to the Falcons fans I've encountered, they've all been cool. So I want to be a fair man. Sandra says getting jumped is something serious. Exactly. And again, maybe the guy walks away with his pride. He did have a fight with that Eagles fan, but I guarantee he would have got jumped because the Eagles fans would be like, oh, wait, hold on. All they're going to see is Green and Yaddle fighting Green and Silver. Who do you think they're going to stick up for without knowing the context? Especially if some of them were the Eagles fans friends with him. He would have got jumped. And he would have been at a bad disadvantage. He's on a bad angle. He's fighting upwards. The Eagles fan is just punching down. So imagine that, like, okay, you got a punch or two in on the fan, but now your wife sees you with a bloody nose or maybe even possibly knocked out. Again, male pride and bravado takes over a lot of situations. I am a victim of that. I've had some bad road rage incidents where my pride takes over my logic. So I understand people who do or would probably fight in that scenario. But I try to tell myself, at least going into any type of hostile situation, one, I just say, Jono, do not fight over a goddamn sports game because ain't none of these players going to be paying your bills to get out of jail. Ain't none of these players paying your medical bills if you get dinged up in a fight. So Giovanni says he's going out on his shield on that one. I understand. Again, like when you see your wife get disrespected, I understand. Again, bravado takes over. My dog says, got to defend the wife. It's clobbering time. Now, you could be a little bit logical too as well and be like, hey, I'm not going to fight you for my seat because I'm at a disadvantage. You're up, I'm a below. But you can meet me in that goddamn terrace level and we can settle this like men. I understand that. And I would not be mad at that either. How he did do that. I would not be mad at that. Again, now you got to be at risk of going to jail or whatever. But hey, again, sometimes hitting a goddamn ass on his face is worth all the bail bond money in the world. So I understand it. I'm not knocking anybody who does say, hey, you got to fight in that situation. Brute Saint says it might be more than a game, but not to the point of harassing others. At that point, it is just a freaking game. Like I mentioned earlier, and Ziggy is right. Now my situation was a lot different. It was just an old Karen lady who was mad that she thought I was talking shit in my vlog about the Vikings when I clearly wasn't. I was talking more shit about the Saints than the Vikings, but she thought I was talking about the Vikings, so she had to interject herself. But that was never a scenario where I was going to get into a fight with a 50-year-old lady. It was just okay, I'm gonna tell you to F you. Unfortunately, my wife didn't get that on camera, but again, sometimes like you just click out when you're faced with a tense situation. Let me make sure I'm trying to catch up to all your comments. I appreciate y'all. I really do. J-Rock says, why should we be surprised after all this is the same fan base that cheered when Michael Irvin got hurt nearly years ago? And my dog says they are the same fan base that booed Santa Claus. I know some Philly fans say that was taken out of context, but either way. Devin Nadu says, I went to a game at the Superdome when Donovan McNabb and the Eagles came to town. Typical Eagles fans was out there acting ass. Now, hey, maybe they was on the daiquiri, so you got to show a little bit of grace with that. Saint G, who I have met at a Saints game before, real kind guy. He says, we all expect some grief and some ribbon when we go into imposing stadiums, but some people go way overboard. Exactly. I'm one of those people going to away games. I rib, I talk a little trash, but I never do it at a point where I'm trying to instigate a fight or where I'm like, this is life or death, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm about my Saints. Put your hands up. Nah, come on now. It's a sports game, y'all. This ain't life or death. Brute said he would ignore it. Brute, I respect that. It's kind of hard to ignore somebody calling your wife the C word, but I do respect it. Again, sometimes you got to let logic come out, even if you're going to get clowned by strangers on the internet that said, nah, you got to fight. You got to fight. Like Giovanni said, hell no, we got to throw hands, which is fine. I would have been much more satisfied watching that Eagles fan get his ass knocked out in that video than I am watching him lose his job and whatever. But I know long term, him losing his job and his credibility and his character, that's way more long lasting than had he just got punched on the internet video. Ziggy says the worst UFC fighters is everyone always fighting in the crowd. I saw a funny tweet, Ziggy, where somebody said they should do a brand new show where UFC fighters go incognito to opposing stadiums wearing the opposing team gear and see what happens if a fan wants to talk tough. That would be a great TV show. I wouldn't mind watching that. Pro P says I think Pro P is from in New Orleans, but from Atlanta or something like that. I forget. Ribbon is a New Orleans thing. No one says it anymore. Nostalgia. He's goddamn right, bro. That's why New Orleans is more than the city. So again, I understand it. My guy Ryan watching on Facebook, appreciate you, Ryan, says it ain't that serious for people to be doing the most for no reason. Ryan has actually gone to an away game to Atlanta with me in the past. So Ryan knows how much we act the fool, especially in Atlanta, but we do it with fun. We do it with, hey, man, on the field, we're rivals. We're going to have fun with this rivalry. Off the field, we can dap up. I mean, shit, we all probably got the same type of ideologies. New Orleans and Atlanta has the same type of population, basically. Like, what are we doing? Like, we don't got to throw hands over this. Let's just have fun with it. Talk shit. It's football. This shit more than the game, but this shit more than life, too. So, yeah. So, I definitely get the arguments about wanting to fight, but I'm a little, I think these tweets calling out the guy for doing a GoFundMe and getting mad that he's a content creator. Maybe it's because I'm a content creator myself. I think that's going a little overboard. And I don't think that, I guess there's not a right or wrong way in this scenario. Like, he didn't fight. Okay, good for him. He got this guy identified. He got this guy fired from his job. And he got this guy banned from Eagles games for the rest of his life. So Packers might have lost on the field, but he ain't lose off. Might have lost on the field, but he ain't lose on the field. Let's hear a word from one of our sponsors, and then we shall get to the voicemails. No matter what, we all know that this shit more than a game, and now you can wear it with pride. Visit www.johnobonds.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now for the low price of $28.03. You can buy it in black and gold, purple and gold, white and blue, red and navy blue, all types of colors. We've got you covered here on the John O'Barnes Show. So visit www.johnobonds.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now. And let the world know, folks, this shit more than a game. Drinking on those Falcon fans' tails. I need it too, y'all. It's hard. It's hard hosting a show by yourself, y'all. It's hard hosting a show by yourself. But I want to thank over 700 people watching the show right now. I imagine it's because somebody with a huge Twitter platform probably retweeted my stream. So whoever did that, I appreciate you. Now, the moment you all been waiting for. Even though the Saints are eliminated, we have kept the voicemail line open, and we are going to get to some of these voicemails. I hope that the lovely Miss Barbara, I know she's dealing with a sickness right now, is listening, because we got a voicemail that might be like we need to end the voicemails for the rest of the season after you guys hear that. But let's get to the post wild card weekend voicemails.
The playoff is on the way. Yeah. No, you got the Texans beat the Chargers. You got the Ravens. The Ravens beat the Steelers. And you have the Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers. I hope Washington beat Tampa Bay. And that'll be so good. All right, bye. This is Kyle speaking. Bye.
Well, Kyle, you got your wish, because the Commanders did beat the Bucs, and now the Bucs are on the couch with us. Let's get to our next voicemail.
This shit more the game, y'all. You know, it's been good sitting on the couch Bucs, you get to sit on the couch here. Come here, Succaneers. But, man, what is Mickey Loomis thinking? He is just so delusional, blaming injuries, and it's just... I can't believe he stuck up for Dennis Allen. I'm like, for reals? Like, it's just time for Mickey to go, bro. It's just... oh my god, we're screwed. We'll see what happens, but I don't know, man. Mickey Loomis just is so delusional at the moment, just crazy. But anyways, that's all my thoughts. Goofy Cage and Dig Dog out. Peace.
The reason why I did not talk about Mickey Loomis's press conference on Monday is because honestly, he didn't say anything that I thought was worthy of discussion, to be honest. Like, he did the typical GM speak, nothing significant. I know there was some quotes that he did that, of course, fans are mad at because they're just mad at anything he does right now for fair reason. But he didn't say anything on Monday that made me go, oh, yeah, this is worthy of a topic. Maybe we'll talk about it in the future episodes. But yeah, his press conference on Monday was exactly what a Mickey Loomis press conference usually is. Just him talking in GM speak that doesn't really advance anything that you would like to know about where the New Orleans Saints are planning to go in the future. Mr. Filmer asks, Jono, can we have a Pelicans segment? Mr. Filmer, you might have come a little too late. I definitely did a whole Pelicans segment about Zion, but I will talk more about the team in the future. Absolutely. So absolutely, for all those who are true to the Jono Barnes Show and new to the Jono Barnes Show, as the offseason for NFL rapidly approaches, we will do more basketball talk. And again, just more in general sports talk, because I can't talk about the Saints all offseason. Like, there's only so many topics we can talk about when it comes to that team. So absolutely, Mr. Filmer.
Yo, I ain't done. Like, I ain't done with the stupid Dale-Con thing. I ain't done. I ain't even close to done. You see, they be saying that they're the truth. They say they are the team. Well, guess what? You say you're the truth, but I'm not a believer. All I see is you getting owned like a golden retriever. Okay? I got some rhymes too. And then every time we put you on blast, you start mentioning the past. Wherever you lose, you hide. But then whenever you win, you slide. I think it makes sense. In week 4, the whole world is filled with Falcon fans. But week 10, all the Falcon fans cease to exist. I think it makes sense. Come on, man. There's always this shit more than a game. It's always who that. And don't be a stupid ass Falcon fan.
That was funny. Like I said, you always move in the past, but now you don't want to be last. I appreciate Poetry Hour with Hurricane Mikey. Next voicemail.
Jono, it's your boy, Devin, that dude. I just wanted to give a quick holler. It's been a little while since I left a voicemail. Not sure if you gonna have voicemails going tonight. I know a lot of people will start fading out because the season's over. But I just want to get y'all insight on who y'all think or should be the next coach of our beloved Saints. Now, a lot of people already starting to toss out the Mike McCarthy name, and I'm not too mad about that because let's be honest. Yeah, with Dallas, he might have not took them to the promised land, but every team he's been on, they do the damn thing. Now, he ain't no damn Mike Tomlin where they got winning seasons every year, all of last year or this past season, but I mean, they're doing some good stuff. So I wouldn't be mad at that, but a lot of people put Lynn's name out there, to be honest with you. I don't know if I really want a defensive-minded coach, but, we saw how that went last year, or like you said, the purgatory of hell with Dennis Allen's sorry ass. I mean, we got to get our priorities straight and start working into there. And then Mickey Loomis bum ass talking about he's confident in bringing Carr back, confident for the future with Carr. Man, that dude a bum. Get his ass the fuck out of there too. I'm just saying, bro. But anyway, I'm excited about the picks that we've been doing, even though I'm trying to do my picks right now, but it's only allowing me to do 2 games. I don't know if you set it up like that. Since I was the only one that picked the Houston Texans, I'm going to take that win. Anyway, much love. Out.
Thank you, Devin, for everybody that's doing a pick'em league. you should be able to pick all 4 games this upcoming weekend. I was able to do it, so try and refresh your Yahoo, Devin, and let me know. You obviously have probably already heard our discussion about the head coaching search. We will continue to do it going forward until a head coach has been named, and hopefully we'll have some of our co-hosts on so you can see what Ziggy or what Sean say, Evan Glenn. Ziggy never really gave a quite valid opinion. I mean, I saw you put Mike McCarthy in the super chat, so maybe Ziggy is all in on Mike McCarthy, but and I know y'all don't want to hear what Evan has to say, but we'll do more discussions about who we feel should be the next head coach. And congratulations on being the only one who picked the Houston Texans to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, guys, along with the voicemails, we open up the line so that anybody wants to leave in text, they can as well. So we received a text from, of course, everyone's favorite, that one Falcons fan who says, I think we both can agree seeing the Yucks lose in the playoffs is poetic justice. Always room on the couch. You're right, that one Falcons fan. There's always room on the couch. Always room on the couch for one more, laughing my ass off. But nonetheless, I love seeing Tampa lose. We fired our defensive coordinator finally. Dennis Allen was a candidate for our defensive coordinator position. Who knows? Another man's trash could be another man's treasure. That would be great for the rivalry. That one Falcons fan. If Dennis Allen becomes the Falcons defensive coordinator, because I would hate it because one, Dennis Allen, for all the shit I give him, I always say that man can coach a defense. So yeah, that would be a great move for Atlanta, and that would definitely intensify the rivalry to another level. So I guess from a personal standpoint, I don't want it because I think Dennis Allen would make the Falcons defense better. But from a professional standpoint, as a content creator, the content I can get with Dennis Allen being the Falcons defensive coordinator, I wouldn't mind it. And we got a text from Mike. Mike says, if the Saints hired Big Mike McCarthy, that would be the second worst mistake Mickey Loomis has made in Saints history. The first mistake he made was hiring Dennis Allen and getting that broke quarterback Derek Carr. Goes back to my point, y'all. I don't understand how Sean Payne is a god among Saints fans, but Mike McCarthy, with literally damn near the same resume, is seen as this, ain't no way, the Antichrist. We cannot have Mike McCarthy in New Orleans. I don't get it. But hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Let's get to our next voicemail.
Hello? May I speak to Barbara? Barbara, this is Mrs. James. Just James. You might not know who I am, but the reason I'm calling you is because I was going through my old man's YouTube history this morning, and I just so happened to find your duet with him. So, woman to woman, I don't think it's being any more than fair than to call you and let you know where I'm coming from. Now, Barbara, I don't know how you're going to take this, but whether you be cool or come out of a bag on me, you see, it really doesn't make any difference. But it's only fair that I let you know that that man you're singing duets with, he's mine, from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. The bed he sleeps in and every piece of food he eats. You see, I make it possible. The clothes on his back, I buy them. The car he drives, I pay to know every month. So I'm telling you these days so that you know how much I love that man. And woman to woman, I think you understand just how much I'll do to keep him. Woman to woman,
Man,
if you've
what?
ever been in love, then you know how I feel. And woman to woman, now if you were in my shoes, when you have done the same thing too, oh, woman to woman, can't you see where I'm coming from? And woman to woman, ain't that the same thing you would have done? Woman to woman to woman, Now should I just step aside and let Barbara take what's rightfully mine? Oh, I'm talking to you, woman to woman. Go ahead now, tell them what you want to say.
Come on, baby, really? Don't embarrass me on the John Barnes show.
Tell them.
This is James. Just James. And I want to apologize for my actions this past season. I got a little ahead of myself trying to impress the This Shit More Than a Game audience. And it will never happen again. And I love my wife and kid. And what I was doing with Barbara was just for show. Again, I apologize. And I love my wife. And now I'm going to take a nice little retrieve with her to get my mind right and to be a better man. Again, I am sorry. You win, Evan. You win.
Now who's Evan? What did he win?
He's a Cowboys fan, babe. All I'm talking about is them losing Mike McCarthy and him coming to the Saints.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Y'all may not be hearing from James, just James, for a while. Now, I don't know what this John Barnes show and this shit more than a game yada yada stuff is all about, but I'm not gonna let y'all break up our happy home, so y'all can go watch y'all playoff games and whatnot, but we got some more important things to deal with in the James, just James household. I appreciate y'all time. Come on, James, just James. This shit more than an apology.
Are we the first stream ever to break up a happy home? Wow. Wow. Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man. Well, at least somebody who has a very happy household right now is yours truly. Because again, this is my anniversary. So I asked you guys, I said, if y'all give me 5 super chats or over 30 likes, I would play how me and my wife celebrated our anniversary today. And you guys got me 3 super chats, which I very, very much appreciate, and over 30 likes. So because of that, I'll show you guys private tapes. Oh yeah, I don't show this to everybody. Here's how me and my wife spent our anniversary today. I say, babe, I am going to have me and you spend some time together, loving on each other, and watching the best day of our life. I mean, that was the best day of our life, right? That was the best day of everybody's life, right? I thought it was a great anniversary. I don't know if my wife agrees. She's been a little cold shoulder to me tonight, but I don't know. All I know is one thing for sure. This shit more than an anniversary. I love my wife, and I just enjoy watching our best day ever together. Boy, I think I'm gonna be like James, just James, and have a bad household too. The stream is doing some damage on happy marriages, y'all. This stream is doing some damage on some happy marriages. Let's get to our picks for the divisional round, as well as we'll start with the upcoming national championship game this Monday night between the Notre Dame Irish and the Ohio State Buckeyes. I want to know in the chat, who do you guys think is going to go to Atlanta and show Atlanta how it is to actually win a championship? Do y'all have Notre Dame or do y'all have Ohio State? I think I am very impressed with what Marcus Freeman is doing at Notre Dame. That was a very impressive win against Texas this past, against Penn State. Ohio State had a very impressive win against Texas. I think when it comes down to it, I trust Ohio State's talent more than I trust Notre Dame's talent. So that is why I think next Monday night, the Ohio State Buckeyes will be holding up the national championship trophy. And it's probably going to be real annoying to Michigan fans that they didn't even get more than a year of bragging rights to Ohio State, because Ohio State is going to be like, haha, right after y'all won a national championship, we won a national championship. That would be like the equivalent of the Falcons winning the championship, but then the Saints winning the championship the next year. But we know that's never going to happen because the Falcons are never going to win a championship. But I got Ohio State on Monday night. I'm just hoping for a good game either way between the Buckeyes and the Irish. I see Devin has Notre Dame by 10. Wow. One Smoke has Ohio State. Bruce State has Ohio State. Javon has Ohio State. We'll see. It seems like Ohio State is the favorite, but one thing I'll give Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame Irish, they have been doing the damn thing this postseason. So we will see if they continue their, which you can argue for both of those teams. I don't want to say a Cinderella run, but they were the lower seeds of the playoff brackets. And here they are playing for the national championship. Hopefully we get a good game out of it. Now, what I'm really looking forward to is the divisional round, which some say is always the best week in the NFL. The last 8 teams playing for a shot to go to the championship game. We'll start off with the Texans at the Chiefs. Again, y'all, please put y'all picks in the comment section. I want to know who you guys think is going to be in the AFC and NFC championship game. When it comes to the Texans and the Chiefs, Devin, that dude, I know you were the only one to pick the Texans last week. I imagine nobody's picking the Texans this week because I believe the Kansas City Chiefs will be going to their 7th straight AFC championship game, I believe. I don't know, but a week off, Patrick Mahomes is nice and rested. I just don't trust the Texans. I feel like they did not look that good this past Saturday. The Chargers just happened to look worse. We will see, but I got the Chiefs by 7. I think it's going to be a close game because the Chiefs always play down to their competition, but I think it's going to be the Chiefs by 7. Next, we got the Rams at the Eagles. I'm sure Sean is very excited about his Rams somehow being one of the final 8 teams remaining in the NFL playoffs. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. To be fair, the Rams looked really good Monday. Like, the Rams looked like they were the best team in the NFC on Monday. Now, that was against the Vikings, so we'll see when they go up in the weight class against the Eagles in Philadelphia. Hopefully no Eagles fan calls a Rams fiance the C word, but I would not be shocked, y'all, if the Rams beat the Eagles. I really would not. The Eagles did not look that good this past Sunday, and Jalen Hurts did not look like he was 100% from his concussion. So I don't know. I really do not know. This is going to be a tough game. I think I'm going to flip-flop back and forth, but I'm going to stick with my preseason pick of the Eagles winning the NFC. So I'm going to at least pick the Eagles at minimum to go to the NFC Championship game, and I'm going to pick the Eagles to beat the Los Angeles Rams in Philadelphia. I see Bruce Saint says that his AFC Championship game is going to be the Chiefs and the Ravens, and his NFC Championship game is going to be the Lions and the Eagles. I see Devin says, I picked the Texans last week, but I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs this week and the Philadelphia Eagles in that game. I see J-Rock is also a fan of the Chiefs this weekend. Next, we got, I would probably say, New Orleans' favorite team in the playoffs this go-around. All of our hated teams are eliminated, and now, of course, the Saints damn sure wasn't even in the dance. The Washington Commanders playing the Detroit Lions. Washington has had an amazing season. Jaden Daniels, oh boy, does he give Washington fans something to be excited about for the next decade plus. But I don't think that continues this Sunday. I think the Cinderella story, if you want to call it that, comes to an end. I think the Lions are going to win by multiple scores. I actually think this is going to be the game that's going to have the biggest point differential of all 4 games. Nothing against the Commanders. I just think that a good run they've had, but the Lions are on a whole nother level. And I just do not see any reality where the Lions are not in the NFC Championship game. So there's going to be many more opportunities for Jaden Daniels to get his team to the NFC Championship in the future. If he wins this Sunday, great. Like, just another incredible feat by the LSU Heisman Trophy winner. But I think Detroit has it on their mind this year. And I think we're setting up for a Lions and Eagles NFC Championship game. I got Detroit winning that game. So does Devin. I see J-Rock and Pro P both have the Eagles winning against the Rams. So it seems like a lot of us are going with the Lions and the Eagles in the NFC Championship game in 1 week. And finally, we have the game of the week, maybe even the game of the year. Shit, why not be in the Super Bowl? No offense to the Chiefs, but the Bills and the Ravens. I am so excited for this game. I cannot wait. And the funny thing is, y'all saw the hate or the hot takes that we saw about the Steelers. So I guarantee you, even though the Ravens and the Bills have had great runs the past 5 years, whichever team loses is going to be World War III, with some media analysts and their fan base are saying, the Bills are a failure. They couldn't get to the AFC Championship game. The Bills are a failure. Or if the Ravens lose, the Ravens are a failure. Lamar Jackson wins all these MVPs, but he can't get to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. The Ravens are a failure. I guarantee you are going to see hot takes like you have never seen hot takes before, which with whichever team loses this game. I'm still having a hard time picking this game, y'all. I think it's going to be real good. I can see a scenario where either team wins. I think my gut is saying the Bills are finally going to get past this Ravens hurdle and they're going to win this game. I just feel like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be a good game, y'all. I'm excited. I am really excited about that game. I will say, whichever team loses, it's not the end of the world. Like, we ain't got to be like, the Bills and Josh Allen are never going to do it if they lose. We ain't got to be like, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are never going to do it. Like, it's the NFL. There's really good teams. Sometimes there just happens to be a team that's better than yours. It's going to be in Buffalo, so I think that's why I'm giving Buffalo the home field advantage and the small bit of favoritism in this matchup. But I can see this game going either way. I'm hoping that it is the classic that we all are anticipating it to be. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, but I would not be shocked if the Ravens put it off and we get the Chiefs and Ravens in the AFC Championship game back-to-back years. But my pick is the Ravens. It's the Bills, which means I got the Bills and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game next week. I see Devin has the Bills in the – Devin, we'll get to our Super Bowl picks next year. We're talking about the championship games for next week, all right? But Devin, obviously, if he has the Bills on Super Bowl, that means he has the Bills this Sunday against the Ravens. So J-Rock has the Ravens. We'll see. I think it's going to be a great game. But my picks are the Bills and the Chiefs to go to the AFC Championship game, and the Lions and the Eagles to go to the NFC Championship game, which was set up for some amazing, amazing conference championship games that we all deserve as football fans. Should be a great weekend of football, y'all. Should be a good Pelicans game I could go watch for the rest of the night. I'm watching the corner of my eye, the Pelicans against the Bulls. I appreciate everybody who joined the show tonight. Again, right now we have over 790. Now, do we really have over 790 people? Probably not, but according to the numbers, 700 people are watching on Twitter right now. So I'll lie and say, 700 people are watching right now. I understand, and I've learned this from last offseason, that the numbers dwindle big time on YouTube when the offseason comes. Like right now, we only have 20 people watching. Makes sense. Once football season is over, especially with the Saints and Falcons eliminated, a lot of, I don't want to say casuals, but people just aren't as inclined to watch the show as they are when it's, in the heart of the season. Same way like a presidential election, right? Like a lot of us watch a lot more CNN or MSNBC or even Fox News during the presidential election season. Then once the election is determined, we all go back to watching other stuff because it's like, okay, it's kind of like how it is with sports, especially when you have a sports streams that, hey, the season is over. So I'm expecting a lot of people to kind of tune out until the draft or until we hire a coach, until, the big events happen. So all that to say, to everybody who is still watching or tuning in, I appreciate y'all truly. That means a lot to me. So even someone like Pro P, who has no reason to continue watching this show until the Falcons and Saints pick up on their rival in September, to still be watching the show, a Saints heavy show, I appreciate that. Of course, to my dude Devin, and to all of you guys watch. I don't want to start naming names because I always forget people. But to everybody who watched the show tonight, I appreciate y'all. For everybody who's going to continue to watch the show throughout the offseason, I appreciate you guys because, like I said last week, I do not play with y'all time. Y'all give me 2 hours of y'all time. I'm going to put up the same effort in the offseason that I put in the regular season to give you guys as entertaining as a show as possible. And hopefully you guys walk away from the show each week saying, yeah, that was worthy of my 2 hours watching Jono and his crazy shenanigans. So, Sandra, I see you. Devin says, are you optimistic about what couch to be on? Hopefully we have the Rams on the couch with us next week. But I will say, having the Bucs and Falcons on the couch with us makes it all worthwhile. Thank you guys for watching the Jono Bones Show. Now I got to go and be a nice husband and give my wife some good old this shit more than the game time on our anniversary. If you know, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Thanks for watching the John O'Born Show. This shit more than a stream.
You know